Janitors for Jesus, Season 2, Episode 5062. The Colorful Pelt.
Well, hello again, YouTube. I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Wanda, and this is Janitors for Jesus.
Amen.
Canadian style.
Canadian style! Hey! So, we're going to begin this episode with thoughts on the Lord.
The Lord.
Because
He's good.
He is good. He is great.
Better than most.
Thank Him for what is on your plate. Bacon in Canada. Moose. Also a moose. Moose.
Moose.
So,
The other day, while we were at this church service here in Canada.
Canada!
Shocking.
You may
We know.
think
We
that
know.
Canadians don't go to church. You may think that they are unchurched, heathen people who sometimes style their hair in a skunk-like manner.
For the most part, that is true.
That is
but,
true. Hey.
But there are some who do go to church.
And we are among them.
Yes, then while we were there, in walks this
Mother.
woman. She's a woman. Very
Manly.
well, she's a woman, we were pretty sure. And she walks in with what appeared to be a child.
Which we thought the child might have a
Something.
disease that made it extra hairy.
But, however, we did learn that this child was a monkey. Fully clothed monkey with a bonnet on its head in church.
Yes.
In church. And the entire time, the monkey sat there, better than most of the children, and did this with its song book the entire time. And that made me very uncomfortable, but nonetheless, the monkey wants to go to church.
The monkey will go to church.
By all means.
By all means.
By all means.
Lucinda the Monkey, you are welcome in the house of the Lord.
Or the house of ill repute. It doesn't matter.
Ill repute.
Ill repute. What are you wearing? That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
How dare you, madam? This is not any ordinary garment.
Nope.
This is my pelt.
What's a pelt?
A pelt is something made from animal skin. You might wonder how I came about being the owner of this fine pelt. Well, I'll tell you. The other day. Now, Canada is full of two things. Bacon and moose. The other day, in our front 2x4 yard, I saw 2 feet away from me, there it was, the biggest, most beautiful moose.
2 feet.
2 feet away from me.
2 feet away from you, there stood
A moose. And it was a beautiful,
beautiful moose.
thick around the waist moose. And so I took my gun, I cocked it, I flipped this little barrel, and I went,
no bullets.
nope, no bullets. So you know what I did? I didn't let that bring me down. I decided I'd bring the moose down. So I went up to it, I grabbed it around its girdle/gut, and I squeezed the life out of that moose, and then I just sucker punched it right there.
You did.
Down went the moose, onto my body 2 days later. This coat, pelt of many colors that my mother gave to me. It's a beautiful mauve color.
That it is. That it is. It's one of a kind. Thankfully.
One of a kind. Everything I wear is
Thankfully.
one of a kind.
Thankfully. Well, wow. You know, that almost looks like something Jezebel would have worn.
Jezebel would have worn this. Do you know who would wear things that Jezebel wore?
Who?
Do you know who is the most corrupt / hussy-like woman in the U.S. today, which is a country we are not in?
Hillary Clinton?
False. Hillary Clinton is high in my book compared to this creature. I have direct and unvarying proof that Jezebel directly is her descendant is, just hold on.
What?
Don't look.
Lord.
Here we have a flowchart that clearly explains what I'm about to explain. This is Jezebel.
Very accurate.
Very accurate description.
Very accurate.
Exactly what she looked like. Very round in the face. Most people don't know that. Next comes Nancy Pelosi's grandmother. I mean, there's some space here you can see that can be played with, like dough.
Very vague.
Very vague. But I do know what happened next was Nancy Pelosi directly descended from her grandmother and Jezebel.
What does this all mean?
This means that Nancy Pelosi may or may not directly descend from a loose woman of biblical times.
Well, that's shocking.
The drunk.
Huh. Well, I wonder if she also descended from some African kings. Maybe,
I know why you
maybe.
bring this up.
What?
You bring this up about the African kings because at this same church that we have been attending, because we're not in America, we have to go to these very odd Canadian services. A lot of Gregorian chants, that sort of thing.
Muck, muck, muck.
Muck, muck, muck. They speak in German sometimes. You wouldn't think so, but they do. In this same church, different service from Lucinda the Monkey, we walk in and we sit in our pew, you know, every good church
Not
going
really
person.
a pew. It's actually a school bus seat.
School bus seat, what have you. And behind us, from behind us, come 3 African kings. They walk in front of us. They sit down. What do they begin to do? Chant and lift their arms. Now, I'm not saying that there was a stench coming.
No. Yeah,
It could have been us.
but that is exactly what
we
we're
have
saying.
not bathed in the last 2 years. We don't have running water. But there was a definite odor. Could have been from the monkey.
Who knows? It was hard to
Who
tell.
knows? Lucinda could have been pungent that particular day. All we know is that African kings may
Or may not.
smell when they enter the church house.
It's all very vague.
Could have been their pelts. They were wearing pelts. That's where I got the idea for this.
Were theirs mauve?
No, theirs were more natural colors. It takes a very, very special person to create what I have.
Like your mother?
No, it wasn't my mother. I lied about that part. It was just me.
That's not good to lie. There, Charlotte.
Thanks, Wanda. Well, 8 minutes is up.
That's all the time we have. Sorry if we had some donations. Perhaps we could continue longer, but
we have to keep the lights on and feed ourselves. So
that's all the time we have.
that's all the time we have for you today, YouTube.
Thank you and goodbye.
Hey!
Hey!